Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to our Thursday book stream where we learn about epic endgames. Hey, Veredin, how are you? How are you guys? Doing fine? Nice to see you again. Shall be opening the book in a second. Publish this, click this. Click that, magical appearance, click, and then you see the book. Let me get my G-Show just in case. I always use a lot of G-Show and translator, so let's get on with those as well. No, today we're going Japanese English, not German English. Thank you very much, Google Translate. Reopen closed PDF. Your last Acrobat session ended abruptly. Click restore to reopen PDFs from the last session. I don't think I need to. Thank you very much, Adobe. Today we're drinking green tea because why do I always have to come up with reasons of why I choose certain tea? It's just because it feels like it. There's no need to explain the magical properties of a green tea, which is one of the best Japanese teas, and it's less powerful than a black tea, and it feels like it. And I just explained without explaining. All right, so what did we have last week? Today we will continue on the topic of dealing with enemy attack, and we had different types of defense. All right, so yeah, this is the chapter where we actually talk about how to extend our life rather than to attack our enemy, because now we know how a proper attack should work. We have to learn how to deal with it as well, and we had two ways to deal with it. One which is slowing down your opponent, and the other one was to eliminate their attacking ability, like the whole ability to attack. Stop their attack completely, perhaps, it sounds better. Practically speaking, slow down is more likely to you're able to pull it off because the risk is low. You can extend your king's life and you can delay your opponent, because sealing off the enemy's attack is really hard. Yeah, you have to defend everything, and the risk that you're gonna fail is pretty high. So if you see a pro like playing defensive side shogi, it's gonna be more like the right side. The usual shogi should be more like left, where you just attack faster than your opponent, right? But of course, depending on the situation, the right side might feel more compelling. For example, your enemy is playing Anaguma and they don't have enough attack. Well, just eliminate their attack completely and you win, yeah? Stuff like this will matter in a big picture, but speaking of details, yeah, we need a spear and a shield. And we were talking about Judoka Ose, right? We had 3 techniques. We had push, we had, what was it? Politeness, exchanges, and we had something I don't remember. Oh my gosh. We have to go to our Discord and summon Judoka Ose so that I remember what was written there. Let me see. Push, exchange, and block. All right, block, yes. So locking enemy joints, right? Blocking. Let's see. So this was example of a situation where you cannot defend anymore. About one-sided endgame, yeah? One-sided endgame Ose. This is something we want to avoid. And we avoid Ose by removing enemy's pivotal piece. So here we chased away the dragon. All right, that made sense. Here we chased away the horse from our core. Then we had the technique of exchanging pivotal piece. Yeah, so their attack is slowed down. Exchange to defend. And then we had the block technique. The block, because we block them, they don't have any continuation. They don't have enough power to complete their attack, and therefore we either chase away or disable enemy or exchange enemy pivotal pieces. Yeah, it's all about dealing with those nasty pivotal pieces. Yeah, Judoka Ose. At the end of the stream last week, we talked about lure technique with a small penguin. I'm not sure if you see the penguin. We talked about luring the enemy's pieces away. We also talked about different promotion styles. Luring away means they become, again, less efficient, therefore slower. Yeah, we distract them from their objective. And we finished around here, I believe, where we talked about Thunder Tesuji, the ultimate lure technique, sacrificing the whole gold in order for us to survive few more moves. Yeah, it's the main one, but here we take 1, 2, so we survive one more move. All right, any questions so far, chat? It's working. So far, so good. We can start new lesson. Good recap. Okay, thank you, Herodin. So we continue with the lure technique, which again is one of the techniques to extend our king's life. Yeah, so we're talking defense, which is probably more advanced technique. Yeah, usually first you learn how to checkmate the king. How to avoid being checkmate is like the next step. This is why it takes so much more brain power to process. On the diagram 16, page 110. So the distraction tesuji, pawn drop. In that page, we had pawn sacrifice. Yeah, pawn sacrifice. But there's also cases where we use much higher value pieces. And then it uses a lot of kanji that I don't send. So it's gonna be about that you give away a big piece. That means if you give away a pawn, the harm will be small, right? Because it's a light piece. But in the previous example, we had a gold. So there is a chance they will be able, even though you made their pieces inefficient, because you gave them a gold, that's gonna speed up their attack. So you have to be very, very careful. But the point is, yeah, and this type of technique, therefore, is best used if your own king is in checkmate or almost in hishi. So technique to use, technique timing is before tsume. Okay, let's do it like this. Before tsume or hishi. Right before, yeah. Hishi. That's how do you write hishi again? My brain doesn't hishi. Hishi it should be. But I think my brain is now not comprehending the word hishi. We are writing it with one S so far, right? It's like hishi. Yeah, okay, 2S actually. That's good, that's good. Yeah, 2S is correct. Hishi, right before. Right before, yeah. Right before hishi. Is the best timing. In diagram 19, we have our king next to the wall, right? We are being surrounded by those pieces. And the question is, how do we escape checkmate here? The mate is obviously, you know, this horse getting here. It's mate in 1. So how would you guys prevent that? How would you lure them away, may I say? Any idea, chat? Knight 7. Knight. Great. Yes, Fierin. So this knight will protect this square. Very well done. It will delay the mate as a fact by at least 1 or 2 moves. So this is a sacrifice, yes, scapegoat. Sacrifice, but it extends our life. Sentes Gyoku. So life extension. Even if you take it with the Tokin, even if you take it with the horse, doesn't matter which, that Tsumero, yeah, Tsumero disappears. Is being deleted. So let's see. If the Tokin takes, they have no mate, right? They have a horse in hand as an effect. Sorry, a knight in hand as an effect, but the horse alone, you know, the king can run here, there is no mate. If the horse takes, we may see this check over here, the open check with the Tokin. The problem is after the check, the king will run to here, and it's safe on the square. Having the knight in hand doesn't help them to capture this king, yeah? So, one move, we're gonna play checkmate threat, and they have not Sume, we win. In this situation, if we play checkmate threat, we were losing in 1. In this one, they will need 1 more move, which means we win by 1 move. We gained, yeah. We gained speed. We gained that 1 move, 1 move, which means we can play another move somewhere else and win the game. So what does it mean? Remember that the attacking side really likes to get close to our king. What we do, we want them to get far away, yeah? So they want close. We say go away. And we do it using the lure technique, yeah? So attacker side says this, we say this. All right. Also, what they're saying in this comment, even if they take this knight, it doesn't become checkmate threat because this horse is protecting so good. Therefore, we got 1 move, as we said here. Nicely done, Viredin. All right, next example 21 in this diagram. Let's see. So we have our king here. The enemy bishop is cutting off our escape route. They are able to take this. We go here. They drop the lance. We take, they drop the silver they just got. This would be a mate in 7, right? In 5, actually. Uchigoma. And we have nothing in hand. That's important to notice. So what would you guys do in this position? Using the lure technique, of course. It's a very famous one. I should actually, you know, guys, I will come up with something on the side. Color source. Sensor. Yes. All right, we're gonna use that to censor everything. Maybe not everything, but we need certain part of the answer not being seen right now. Here you go. The answer is censored right now. What would be a good move here? it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Again, we want to go for the lure. You guys can see it. Okay, yeah. Actually, let me see. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna translate this kanji, but it's the same thing. We want to lure them away, yeah? Not get close, push them away somehow. And this is difficult because we have no pieces in hand, as you can see. But lure meaning distract them. Yeah, let's go with distraction, yeah? Distraction. In effect, less efficient, right? Like your sensei every day. Getting distracted with Hollow Knight. Let's think about it for a minute or so. Unless Suwako seems to have found the answer. All right. Indeed, that will be the silver move, which is really hard to see because we give it away for free, right? It's like literally you walk it in front of two enemy pieces. It's really hard to see it in this position, but it's worth to note, Esuji. They don't, okay, they explained it here, so let's take it off. So the idea is if they take it with either of the pieces, then their pieces become inefficient. They get distracted. On top of that, this silver paradoxically becomes a defender of this square. So they cannot continue with checkmate threats. And therefore, we are surviving by one more move, yeah? They had checkmate in one. Now they will have one, at least one. Yeah, if they go to the same position, that's even more, right? In the endgame techniques, approaching techniques, we learned we have the exposure or detach the king, right? Detach, exposure. Maybe detach, yeah. Detach. But the lure technique is something that uses the same technique, but in the defense. Lure is similar to detach. So we're detaching the enemy pieces from the attack, if it makes sense. So one of our objectives while breaking the castle, the missions that we had, was to get closer to the enemy king, get next to him while breaking the castle. And we're preventing that by using the lure technique. We're pulling them away, yeah? The lure technique is a technique that when the extermination technique, I think this was the extermination technique, is hard to stop. So if the enemy attack is hard to stop, then it's much easier to use the lure technique. If you guys are in trouble, you cannot defend, lure technique is probably something for you. Yeah. Do no michi se mega kirenai. If there is a situation where the attack cannot be prevented, it doesn't matter how many pieces you give them. So maybe let's write it down, sounds important, yeah? If you cannot stop attack anyway. Doesn't matter how much you give them, yeah. The suck or the lure, yeah, to slow them down. Because we don't want to stop them, we just want to slow them down. We want to be like, hey, I know you're trying to get to our president palace, but did you know there is a bank full of money right on the street over there? Yeah, how about you get that, and in the meantime our president will evacuate by the secret, you know how it goes. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do here. All right, now we will have computer examples as usual in practice. Yeah, in those techniques we will see in practice. In diagram 23 we have Sente that has a lot of. Okay, so this will be the one-sided endgame with pivotal pieces. So let's see. So we have a dragon here, which isn't really affecting us. We have a silver bishop here, kind of blocked for now, and we have a rook here. Yeah, so they are the only ones. They have the pivotal piece. That's the problem. So because, as we talked in Ose, the one-sided endgame, one of those conditions was that they have pivotal piece and we don't. Yeah. So what do we do in that case? Well, we use our judoka, right? To either push, exchange, or block them. So in this case, we're gonna use the push technique and we're gonna push this dragon away. We will use the bishop drop to 8-9. There's the rook protecting it, so it's fine. The dragon will escape. And then this bishop, the same bishop will come here, attacking the dragon again, forcing it to move once more. And dragon won't be able to come back, it will be forced away. Yeah? Like this. If the dragon comes back here, they say that you have a pawn drop here, which is crazy. It's a pawn drop here, targeting the dragon next with the bishop, and it cannot escape. With the bishop here or the bishop here, both work. If the dragon comes instead to this square, then we manage to force him, to push him back, yeah? Pushed away. So that's a perfect result for us. Yeah, and therefore we avoided Ose, yeah? We've avoided the one-sided endgame. So that's the point. We push that away. Yeah, we can argue that we used a whole bishop for that purpose, but it was much more important to not allow the one-sided endgame here. Because the dragon is not here, we'll be more safe. The dragon on h6 means that we will be able to play rook to 4 ourselves, and the game continues. So far, so good. It's a funny thing to say here. Okay, no questions. Gote played 7, 8 silver here. And there is this very hard to translate thing. Yeah, we have to continue defending as center because the enemy has a lead in the amount of pivotal pieces again. Yeah, they left us in the dust or something like that. Yeah, if you look carefully, they have a silver here, they have a silver here, they have a gold here. We have a bishop here and this gold, which isn't really a pivotal piece, right? So they have more pivotal pieces. They're attacking stronger. We have to defend. It's giving you a lot to think about. That's great. If we were to escape the rook, we would go to here. Then they would promote. We would make an escape route. And then they would come closer to cut that escape route. And they would surround us, yeah? Surround. So we would fall into their trap. Yeah, so it's a fail, surrounded, fail. So instead, we talked about deletion of the attacking pieces or exchange, right? Or deleting attacking pieces. So what do we do in this situation? Well, we're gonna take this silver. We're gonna take it with the rook, pawn promotes, king takes. And here, yes, we exchange rook for silver. Yes, it is material loss. But we managed to delete the attacking pieces and therefore we're safe. We're safer. Yeah. And because of this situation, the enemy doesn't have the pivotal piece anymore. And they will have to redo that phase. In this way, we kind of force their pieces back to their hand in this case, right? And we defend it. So we push them back a phase. In this situation right now, next we're threatening pawn drop, knight takes, knight drop here. So we are happy to have a counter attack. So again, rook versus silver is material loss, but they were pushed back to create pivotal piece phase. So that's important. Yeah, we push them back a phase. Same way we say like rebuild their castle, slow down their attacks so they don't have checkmate threat. The same way we push them back to the phase of, oh, you need a attacking piece again. You need to somehow bring those close to the king. Yeah, we made it harder for them to surround our king. This one was wrong because we ended up surrounded. We kept the rook, yeah, but we forgot that more important is the king safety in this case. Here we accept that material loss and let the king extend their life, yeah? Okay, it's 27, let's take a look at it. I'm gonna click, hide the answer for you guys. Trying to move it a little bit to the right because pieces in hand. Yep. All right. In the diagram 27, what we have is that the attack is dropped now the rook, and they're targeting takes, king takes, pawn drop. It's a very strong attack that basically is gonna allow them to take this gold for free, one way or another. So we somehow have to defend that gold. We cannot allow them to take the gold, right? Because king without the gold means he's lonely and he will be surrounded soon. So what would you do here? How would we use our judoka technique here? Something about, perhaps, yeah, pushing them away or blocking them off. We have a gold and a silver in hand. Okay, we thought about it, hopefully. The answer is... So we're gonna try to push this dragon away like this. And the way we're gonna do it is to drop the silver here. It checks the dragon, right? Dragon has to escape. This silver also like keeps protection on the gold, so this sacrifice doesn't work. That's worth mentioning. Dragon escapes. We will drop another piece here, a gold. Dragon will go here, because this pawn is protected by the horse. And then we will play this move. Like this, yeah? Now let's see what's the result. We became safer, yeah? Safe again. Of course, we had to use the silver and the gold, but also that allowed us to become safe. So it was necessary investment, yeah? The dragon was also forced away, and that fact is huge for us. So good investment, yeah? High price, but good investment. Good safety investment, yeah? This dragon's movement became like very limited, as you can see. It cannot even go, it can only go to those two squares. And it's not efficient, yeah? Dragon is useless. Such a strong piece, but it's useless, yeah? But again, what happened is we chased away the pivotal piece and therefore deleted their attack. We cancelled them. Attack. Yeah, the dragon cannot really do anything. We can also like limit him more with a pawn drop here. And this dragon basically is crying in the corner, right? We all can see that. Yeah, so previously, let's kind of take a look at it. Previously, we pushed away the dragon. Then we deleted their pivotal piece exchange. And here we not only chased him away, but also like super blocked him in the corner. So it's like, again, those two Ose techniques in one, right? Okay. Next chapter. Next problem. Hiding the answer, yes. All right, that needs... Let's see. Stranded pieces are sad pieces, exactly. Crying in the corner, don't do that. Or force the enemy in that position, yeah. 79, they just unpromoted the silver somehow. And took the gold. Yeah, this gold was there. Next, they're targeting to promote here, attack the bishop. Attack the core, in fact, yeah. In order to extend our life, we need to do something. What should we do? How can we extend our life here? The target is obvious, yeah, they go here next, so we have to do something about it. They don't mention about it, but if you look closely, we also have barely any pivotal pieces. And they have pivotal pieces, so we're talking about the one-sided endgame. There's chance for us to slow them down here. You have a good piece here, worth mentioning. Very nice bishop. We can do something about it. It's the critical moment, they say. How do we extend our king's life? Pieredin is saying knight drop 4-9. Yes, good job, good job. Knight drop 4-9 here to protect the previously mentioned threat of silver promotion and at the same time block this rook. It's a very great move. Very great move. It's a great move. And important is also the fact that if we give them the knight, they already have 2, so 3 of them won't really create an attack on our king yet. So we can do that. So knight, safe sacrifice, if it makes sense. A safe sacrifice. And again, this kanji keeps appearing, but I don't think they mentioned it before. Exclusion removal. Did I translate one kanji wrongly the whole time? Probably. No. They just came up with new kanjis without using the ones that they introduced. Okay. Yeah, so they're not using the word extermination, but it's about stopping them and about getting rid of some attack, yeah? That's what it means. So we're using that lure and like denying target, yeah, technique. Or like, yeah, extermination, stopping the attack. So yeah, similarly to what we talked about in chapter 1, using one move, we are doing 2 techniques, so it's a very powerful thing to do. More power, yeah. Here, if they take the knight unpromoted, then we can drop the bishop here. This bishop is particularly nasty because it attacks the rook. If they run, this is check on the other rook. And therefore, even though we have piece disadvantage, we're not gonna lose easily. Yeah. So that's our target. Of course, they will probably not take it, and then we'll have to come up with something else, but yeah, good fighting chances. Good fight. Continues. Well done, Viridin. If we didn't do that, again, they would just take our bishop and their advantage would be huge. We slow them down amazingly. Yeah, they will have to protect that thread somehow, and then we have another move to make. So this is amazing knight drop that we just made. Okay, we're gonna summarize the whole chapter, starting with the most important thing will be the Ose, the one-sided endgame, right? We talked about this. That we don't allow this to happen, yeah? So avoid Ose. Avoid one-sided endgame. Well, again, one-sided endgame is when they are the only side attacking and we have no counter-attack, basically. The best way to tell it is if they have the pivotal piece or how safe their king is compared to ours. If there is a big difference in those, like in diagram 1, we talk about Ose, yeah? So again, Ose is like pivotal piece. Pieces, and we don't. And king safety, yeah? Existence versus ours. Yeah, I would just write it like this. Difference. If they have Anaguma and you have only one general next to your king, that's probably a trouble, yeah? In here, if the silver escapes, we drop the silver. If the silver escapes, we take the bishop, takes, drop. Yeah. So this is the example of one-sided attack. You can see this king has those 3 generals around him. Completely safe. And this side is basically broken. There is no defense here. Therefore, we're talking about king safety difference. Therefore, this is the Ose, right? So this would be one example. This is what, if we are this side, we messed up somewhere very badly. This is what we want to avoid. Of course, if we got it, we would be super happy. All right. And yeah, this one is basically unwinnable. Unwinnable situation. We want to avoid that. This ends the sentence here. Konaru gyaku ten wa no. Okay, so it's hard to turn it around as well. So yes, he's saying the same thing. If you were the gote, if you are the one who's imposing this one-sided attack on the enemy, of course that means that you have huge lead. Yeah, so we want also if we can. And as a very important summary, so that I don't mess up. There will be something about using defense to a win. For example, in diagram 2, gote is Interesting. Okay, so we have chapter. This is gonna be different. So what we want is Ose, and we want this to arrive. But there's some cases where defense is better than attack. And this is like the shortest path to win sometimes in this case, yeah? For example, in diagram 2, we do have pieces attacking the enemy core, but instead of attacking that king, we're gonna drop a silver here. And if you look closely, that silver drop will capture this rook. So what, it's quite complex example, but because we capture the rook, we are the only one with pivotal pieces. And therefore, this is also a win for us, one-sided endgame for us. Yeah, which means they have no attack as well. 0 attack. So it's the safest way to win, the fastest way to win. Quite an interesting example here. This is perhaps what the beginners do wrongly the most of the time. They feel like, oh, I have piece advantage, so I have to punch. No, sometimes you can win by defending. And this is one example of that. And it's really hard to explain when you should do that. But now we're one step closer to understanding it. We have pivotal pieces. If we delete their pivotal pieces, we win, strategically speaking. Yeah, so by understanding that principle, we are more likely to identify those situations and more likely to find good moves like silver drop 5-8. All right, chat? This was a difficult one. There are no unwinnable situations. Pray for Nifu strat always exists. Yeah, I guess so. Getting saved by Nifu is a humbling experience. It is. All right. Okay. So we come back to the same thing as we did before, but this time we have those two techniques. This is gonna be the last page here. So dealing with enemy attack. My drawing is getting more choppy the more we get into this book. And we have the lure technique, and we have the, let's call it deletion, shall we? Removal. Cancelling culture. Cancel, yeah. We had, what was it? Aim, was it aim? Aim, method, and cost. So this method of cancelling, yeah? So we had remove pivotal piece from existence, literally. And as opposed to that, we had take away the power. Okay, make pivotal pieces useless. If you guys don't know where the word useless came from, it's from the first of the streams, that one of the first streams we made on this channel when we played the vampire game. with Van Helsing, I believe. And every time we talk to a character in the game, he would be like, "That's useless. It's so useless." And it was so irritating that we came up with we took that phase for our own. So that's the same, useless. That piece is so irritatingly useless. Yeah. Okay, so I assume this is the block thing and the exchange thing, but let me double check. I don't wanna. It's exile, purge, exile, change, and isolate. Yeah, so this is our Judoka Ose. Push, exchange, and block or isolate. Yeah, block, isolate. Isolate makes sense with the dragon that we saw in the corner, because it wasn't technically blocked. It was isolated, so it would make sense. So cost of that would be low. So this is our judo. What was his hairstyle again? Oh yeah, afro. This is our judoka guy with his afro and derpy face. I love our derpy faces. Oh my god. Derpy faces. All right. And he had this band. And he's flexing on us. Here we go. Flexing on us. His muscles, his judoka muscles. Yeah. Judoka muscles. His karate cloth is flying somewhere in the distance because his belt fell off. Here you go. So he's flexing his ABS at you guys, and yeah, that's the removal technique. Yeah, the Judoka one. He's here. He's here to protect you ultimately by removing all the enemy dragons from the board. Yeah, that's the Judoka Ose. And this one is more subtle. This one will be to make the enemy piece useless. We're gonna do it by sacrificing. And the cost is gonna be high because this is the end of the game. This is where we are trying to survive. So this will be kind of earlier, this will be later type of deal. This is like, I'm gonna prove I'm the stronger player. And he's like, please don't punch me. I wanna win this game. So that's the lure technique. Absolutely, yeah. So at some point, you guys remember we had the guy fishing in the pond, right? Yeah, we had our guy fishing by the pond, but at some point our fisherman, he basically gets tired of waiting for the fish, and basically he will take the penguin and drop it in the hole. Yeah, that's the penguin shouting, and he would drop it into there to ultimately lure the enemy into their fishing rod. Yeah, so you can see that the cost is high because you have to sacrifice a whole penguin versus cost low because you have to sacrifice a few of your energy, of your powerful muscles. Yeah. Don't trigger a penguin's flight or flight response. It's a flightless bird. Well, you know, the cost is high, so we're gonna do everything, yeah, by sacrificing, making the enemy useless. Yeah, who's gonna resist a penguin? Yeah, they're gonna, capture it. If you guys feel pity for him, that's also a lure. You're gonna be lured into saving the penguin will always fight. Well, yeah, that's what makes it a good bait. Yeah. So that's what makes it a good bait. If you ever see a position like this in your game, you're gonna scroll a little bit. If you ever see a position like this in your game, that's your penguin. That's what you're going to sacrifice. And then he's like, yeah. That's the penguin. The silver is the penguin. You understand? All right. Scroll. I lowered my scrolling ability. I had 3 lines per scroll. I came back to 1 line per scroll because it's annoying when you're trying to select the proper Discord icon emoji on Discord. All right, and the questions. Do you have any questions about what's happening currently on the screen? Do you have any question? Maybe the real penguins were friends made along the way. No. Those were chinchillas, Firin. Those are clearly chinchillas. All right. Life is a penguin, yes. All right, let's go. Oh, we have to read this. I got distracted by drawing. Okay, so the Ose one-sided endgame. To avoid it, we need to know the ways of dealing. Yeah, we need to know techniques of the cancel technique and the lure technique, in short. But the most important one will be the judoka one, the left one. So this will be like our first priority, and the other one will be more like I need to survive type of deal, fight or flee type of deal. Again, the first one is to delete the enemy pivotal piece, which is gonna help our king get safer. King safer, yeah, that's the point. But if the enemy has too many pieces and you cannot do that, then impossible. Then you would like to go for the lure technique, because it's the ultimate sacrifice. As we talked, the cost is really high. In order to basically survive, yeah. Long enough. So this is to slow down the enemy. Slow down. This isn't anymore to like defend ultimately. It's about slowing them down and hoping to win one move, yeah. So the basics again are that we want to make the enemy pivotal piece to be in the bad spot. You want to make them useless, or you want to make them far away from our castle, or in order to lower their attack, yeah? So lowering attack is effect of useless pieces, pivotal pieces, yeah? Or, yeah, push them away. So again, exchange, pushing away, isolating. Sorry. Oh. Okay, this is very difficult Japanese. I don't understand it. Let's see. Pursue it and rewind the offensive process, achieving the ideal that the recipient should aim for. It is as one of. See, guys, this is one of those examples where you should be happy that you have your sensei to translate the books for you, not exactly using the translator. This sentence, again, is translated to, it is one of the ideas that the recipient should aim for to pursue it and realize rewinding the offensive process. Google doesn't understand the word defense. It's saying it as a recipient. So to get to the bottom of it, to push back the attack, I guess, in order to achieve it, you want to be able to do those things mentioned for beforehand as a defensive side. Okay, that's a very difficult sentence. How do I translate that? If you want to repel the enemy attack, you need to know those techniques, basically. Yeah, as a defensive side. If you don't, that's gonna be in trouble, yeah? But if you manage to pull it off, that's because you used something like that. It's very difficult to say. Anyway, those are important techniques. Defensive side, you should know it, yeah? Push, exchange, block, sacrifice. Push, exchange, block, sacrifice. Got it? What's the target? Making enemy pivotal piece useless or removing them. Which one you should keep as the last resort? Sacrifice. That's all you need to know from this paragraph. All you need to know. All right? Any questions, Chad? Because we just finished a chapter and we're gonna slowly start another one. So it's gonna be about mending or repairing your castle. Or repair. Castle reparation. Okay, before that, I remind you, we are now in the defensive chapter. We are talking about how to survive, how to extend our life so that our attack has more chances to succeed. We just did a whole chapter about dealing with enemy pieces, which is how to make them useless, how to distract them. Now we're gonna learn a new technique of extending the king's life. It's castle mending. Yes, home renovations, exactly. Okay, we're gonna talk about repairing the castle. Before we talked about the enemy pieces approaching and us trying to extend our life, but there are those two techniques, so removal and lure, won't be used always. There is also the fact that you can okay, blah 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 blah. Brain. There is also a technique that makes our castle stronger, therefore making the enemy attack slower. All right, so the better your house is, okay, that's the most basic house you can draw. Oh god. Castle. We are gonna agree, right, that if you have a castle, this is also a very generic castle now that I think of it. If we have a castle with water around it, I don't know how it's called in English, I think around the castle. But here you go, a castle. That castle is better than a hut made out of bamboo leaves, right? It's a bamboo leaf hut. Which one do you prefer? Okay, it's which one would you prefer, guys? Moat. Yes, that's the moat. There's gonna be an emote, there's gonna be the roads, there's gonna be a knight on the horse. No, I'm not getting into so much details. Grass, 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 grass versus grass, 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 grass. Guys, which do you prefer? The most standard tree with a tree hole in it and a branch and a bird on it and singing. Clearly, we prefer the castle, right? Castle is so much better. Right? Alright. So again, the better the castle, the slower enemy attack. That's probably not very English written properly, but I mean, you can agree that if the enemy comes with ballista, that's gonna die in one hit, and that's gonna take a little bit more than one hit. 3 is nice. All right. So that's what we're going for. So it's important and okay, it's kind of gonna sound stupid, but repair it before it breaks. Before it's destroyed, I guess. That's what we're going to do. Over here. But yeah, if your pillar breaks or the concrete underneath it, you know, it's gonna sink. So you have to repair it before it does that. Before the pizza towels fall, you wanna repair it, right? There is some proverb here that I have no idea what it means. No worries if prepared. If you are prepared, you don't have to worry. Do we have English proverb like that? Something about preparation? Being prepared for the worst? Something like that. So we're gonna talk about it in more detail. The castle mending technique. The most important will be those 3. And this is the kanji that I've never seen in my whole entire life. So let's get starting great. Saisei, restoration. Kids go. Union, binding, joining, combination. And shahei, shielding, masking, screening, sheltering, shading. One of those. We have no idea which of those words it will be. We're gonna make it up as we go. And then come back and write them down. We will have 3 techniques. Okay, let's make a guess. Reformation, restoration, restoring, restore, join, and shield, shading, masking, question mark. We're gonna go with that. All right, we're gonna go with the first one, which will be the restore one, which is easy to understand. We have the Anaguma, right? Half of the Anaguma will restore it. If we don't, they're gonna drop a gold here, attack our castle. It's gonna be basically endgame. So here we wanna defend. We drop 9 gold. Our defenses get stronger. It's not easy for them to break. So yeah. What they say is drop metal piece. Usually means that you can restore the castle. Yeah, I think we all understand it without saying. It's just that if we put it in the words, it might be easier for us to remember that rule. I think you've seen like pro drop a gold and you feel safer as well in your games if you drop that gold next to your king. That goes without saying. But in this case, yeah, we restore the castle, therefore we are defending. If the dragon escapes to 5-8, we can drop another silver, punch it again, restore it again, yeah. Yeah, so this is the castle mending technique 1. But of course, you have to be very careful about how you do it. What you would like to do is take the initiative. Yeah, if you can. For example, in the example 1, if you drop the silver, not the gold, right? If you drop the silver, what's going to happen? We're gonna counter attack immediately with a pawn drop. And even though we restore the castle, our piece will be immediately deleted afterwards. Yeah. Mended castle. But it got immediately deleted. Yeah, so that's super bad. Let's agree on that. Next, we're gonna take here, pound promotion, the castle is broken, yeah. I don't know why they're taking with the dragon. Ah, no, because, okay, they're talking about the gold drop here. The gold drop, take, it's broken anyway, yeah. So it wasn't decisive enough. This is decisive because we take initiative, yeah. We do not give them time to counterattack. In diagram 4, let's go. What would you do, guys? You have a gold and 2 pawns. Remember what we talked about initiative? Actually, it doesn't say the answer here. I guess I can delete it. Yeah, how to restore? Safely. How to restore safely. Yeah. Yeah, if you have that hammer from the Mario, or just a random normal hammer, how do you restore it safely? How do you restore your castle safely if there's a tiger running at you? I cannot draw a tiger running at you. It's beyond my drawing abilities. I'm gonna draw claw. How many fingers does a cat have? They have 5 as well. How many fingers does a cat tiger have? One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try to imitate that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you go. And the tiger pawn is coming at you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Do you gonna add that brick or do you gonna punch the tiger? That looks like an anime tiger. Jumping at you from the back. Super tiger. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Comfort or safety, pick one, yes. Verizin asks, pawn drop for 9. If talking, then we can run with king maybe. If dragon takes, drop the gold. So you're saying to punch the tiger first, and then to repair the bricks? I like that, I like that. If you drop the pawn, if the dragon takes, we drop the gold, indeed. So what we're taking is, we're taking the initiative here again, right? But what we're doing, practically speaking, is lure plus repair, yeah. So again, we're using the techniques we learned, so that's pretty cool. It's a combo. If they escape, we can drop another pawn. So my question is, yeah, we can drop the pawn, but what if they promote? What do you do then? If we promote, we can escape early. They're gonna take the pawn, and we escape here. They're gonna come with the tiger. They're gonna come in with the tiger, yes, and then we're gonna escape again. Yeah, shoop, 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 shoop. So enough time to escape. Magic. Yeah, so if the tiger is coming at you, swing away, swing at him, punch him in the hand, finish the castle, hide in the castle. Or swing at the tiger, if he gets distracted, run away. Yeah, run away early. That's the combo here. Okay, next chapter. Next problem. We talked about restoration, but depending on the situation, you cannot take the initiative. Oh yeah, we wanted to talk about initiative, yeah. In mind, yeah, we keep the initiative in mind. But here we will have problem with that. Yeah, again, restoration. Restore. And initiative is the problem. What should you do in this case? There is a hint here in Japanese. Basically, it means put metal piece next to your king. I'm pretty sure you guys are like, thanks books for a useful advice. That's what we're doing the whole time. But in this case, it's important to notice, if you put the gold here, they're gonna put the bishop here. And do a hishi, yeah? So it's also possible to drop the pawn here, but then we have the distraction Tesuji of gold drop, king runs, rook basically continue chasing the king. We have the bishop drop to support. We won't be able to defend it. So what we do instead? Pawn drop for 9. If talking, then we can run with the king maybe. So the problem with the pawn, I believe, is this square is open. Oh, that was the last problem. Okay. This was this. Gotcha. I mistook 4-9 as 6-9 also. That's my fault. All right, so what could be the plan here? If we drop it to 6-7, the bishop is a hishi. If we drop it to some other square, maybe they can do the okurite suji. It's quite a troubling problem, isn't it? Where would be best square? Good square. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This one. Below the king, yes. As we perhaps mentioned, I think we mentioned that. I always mention it on like Key for Review streams, but gold is the strongest the lower it is. You actually guessed, yeah. The gold is the strongest the lower it is, because then it affects many squares, you know, to the side and above it. It's like a mini sun. It's a rainbow of happiness. Here it is, and it's a wise move. There is no way they can continue checkmate here. So this is without the initiative, right? Because we're not chasing any rook away, but what's going to do is, as you remember, what we want to do in order to break the castle is, yeah, attacking pieces closer, bring attacking pieces closer. Bring attacking pieces close is the attacker mindset, and we're saying no. Yeah, basically. So it's a great way of defending, you know, just drop this metal piece next to your king. And it's very, very efficient. It's like a shield. In this position, if they were to, yeah, previously they were targeting both bishop drop here and a gold drop here, but we're defending them both. If they were to drop the gold here now, we just take it. If they drop the bishop, we just run to here. They will promote, we run to here. So we're kind of able to survive it barely. Barely, but we are surviving it. Gold, drop, takes the knight, we run away. If they take the gold, they promote. We have the another gold to protect. Or we have a rook to protect as well. Yeah, it still dies, don't get me wrong. This king will die. It's just that it's slower. Yeah. We're restoring the castle to get them to slow down. Yeah, and this is important here because the king looks lonely, but just this gold on the bottom, rainbow of happiness appears and we're surviving a little bit longer. Yeah, this variation here is pretty scary, but allows us to survive one move longer. All right, time for the second kanji that we don't understand, which is the union joining one. I guess that joining, join or rejoin. Let's restore, rejoin. If you have any floating piece, you would like to have them... Floating means it's unprotected. So what you want to do is put a protection on them. And also, why not make the castle stronger at the same time, yeah? If you connect the piece to your castle, means the castle itself becomes stronger. So it's like this brick, yeah? It's like you have your wall of bricks, and you're putting that brick that was missing, right? That's rejoin. Die slower than your opponent. Yes. Yeah, and that makes your castle more resistant, obviously. So it's kind of like restoration. Yeah, here they're targeting silver drop, takes silver drop, so we have to do something about it. We're gonna bring our code closer. Yeah, so it's like click. It's like a Lego block. Here you go. Lego block. Let's make the most fancy Lego block there is. Boom, a Lego block. How many? Yeah, let's do it 4 block. Boom, a Lego block. Yeah. Hammer, Lego block, hammering, Lego blocking. Both are kind of the same. They do same thing, but little bit differently, yeah. So we delete the floating piece and we rejoin it to the castle, making the castle stronger, yeah. Okay. Floating piece threaten the castle. It's like, it's important that we don't waste that floating piece, basically. Yeah, it seems like it's too far away, but actually that one move back is all we need. Again, the proverb is, if the gold is pulled back, it's usually a good move to make because it makes it stronger, yeah? So if I were to translate this proverb, so gold likes to move back. Move down, yeah. If it dislikes to move diagonally up, it really likes to go down. Okay, it goes back to the original square. Chapter, example 10, diagram 10. You have this piece that's floating in the space. It looks really unsafe. Next, the opponent can drop a pawn in front of your king, disturb your shape completely. We don't like that. What would you do here, guys? Of course, if we drop the pawn, if the king takes, they go here. If the gold takes, we have the bishop drop here, the dragon comes here, and there's a mate. So in both cases, pawn drop is horrible. So what do we do? Well, we have a silver in hand. So we're gonna drop it where they wanna drop the piece. So what we have here is we have both restoration and rejoin in one. Can you guys tell me why? Why do we understand why we did restore? Yeah, we restored our silver crown, but why is it rejoin actually? Can you guys understand that here? So again, it's 2 birds with 1 stone, and also it defends the weakness, yeah, or deletes the weakness. That's important point. 2-7 weakness. Perhaps the most important point in the whole thing. Silver drop to 3-9. Yeah, so this would be restore alone. But the reason why it's better to drop it to 2-7 is also rejoin. What are we rejoining? Well, this silver was a floating piece. It's not floating anymore. So let's go to our Lego brick example. It's not only a missing brick, it's de facto you know, you have Earth, whatever, America, you have the sun or the moon. Let's put the moon. The moon. And that Lego piece that we talked about is like somewhere like here. Like a dot in the space somewhere. That's your floating piece. And by this amazing technique of rejoin, you're summoning it to the proper place on the board. You're summoning it to the proper space. Yeah, you're like, Houston, we have a problem. We need you. No, Houston will be on the F. So instead of we're gonna have Lego, we have a problem. And the brick is like, I'm gonna save you, and it teleports here. So, yeah, here we have our useless daydreaming piece come back to Earth, connected to their castle, thanks all to this amazing silver. It also restores our faith in winning this game. And yeah, we managed to also defend the pound drop at our king. Beautiful silver drop. Now we can, yeah, in this position you immediately can see this silver drop. Mwah, beautiful, yeah. Okay, we're gonna talk about the rejoin and detach. We talked that this is the opposite of that, right? De facto. Hey Newton, where did you see me then? Where could have you seen me? Depending on what's your lifestyle, I can tell you where you saw me. Perhaps you're interested in Japanese culture. Perhaps you watched a YouTube channel. Perhaps Anime Man, yes. Perhaps you heard my voice in Anime Man because I think he showed my anime and I didn't share my camera at that point, so you could have heard my voice before. Hey, is it possible to follow play Shogi without knowing Japanese? Yes. I'm new here in Japan. Wait, you're in Japan actually. Yeah, I mean, we have a Discord server and we have this channel with resources if you want to check. And on there, I think it's called Beginner Guide. There's one particular link that's good, which is Hidechi's video. If you're scared of kanji, you can always start with international pieces, then I will recommend another page. But if you're already living in Japan, then it's better if you learn on the kanji pieces, because all the dojo in Japan plays on those pieces. It's gonna be scary at first. Those pieces here are one kanji pieces. The original piece will have Kinsho, for example, yeah? So then you just concentrate on this kanji, ignore the bottom one, yeah? It's gonna be challenging at first, but on the Discord we can help you with everything. I have this Shogi 101 video as well, explaining all the kanji, how they move, so on. And if you have any question, just, drop it on the Discord. We will support you, Japan Knight. You're our second knight on the server. We had also White Knight, who's a very strong chess player. You'll be the second knight on our Discord. All right. So clearly we can see that detach, where we pull them away from the castle, is the opposite of rejoining, where we pull our piece closer to the castle, yeah? Yeah, chess players do learn very quickly. It's a very similar game. Sukoburu. What was Sukoburu? I forgot what's Sukoburu. Very, very bad connection they have. Okay. It's a very important point. We have to be careful in defensive. For example, in the diagram 12, okay, if you're gonna use the rejoin here, that's gonna be very... We're gonna be countered, actually, here. If we go back, they're gonna drop the pawn. Yeah, and distract us again. So our ultimate weakness will be the detach technique. That's important for you to know, guys. Yeah, so what else should we do in this position? That's also a good question. Yeah. If we go down, they're gonna drop the pawn, we're gonna take it. And again, if we go down, they're gonna drop, we're gonna take it. And we lose a move each time we do it, right? Thank you for the follow, Japan Knight. Oh yeah, if you have any of your Kifu later on, you can send it on our Sundays. We analyze the games there. If you guys want to talk more on Saturdays, we have like this more loose streams where we learn, like basically we take topic that viewers want and we study it together. So Saturday is more casual. Today we have like this book and we have to do it certain way. But yeah. I play a lot of regular chess. I laughed so hard when Anime Man said that he thought he could beat an experienced player with 3 hours of training. Did he say that? Oh boy. Well, I mean, there are those genius kids that like pick up shogi and within like a month they can get like super strong. Those people could be on a straight road to become a pro. They're just like, it's in their DNA. Their brain is wired correctly and they just dominate quickly. Like we have in our shogi world, we have like Fuji Sota, who's like, think of Magnus Carlsen but younger and destroying everyone, something like that. That's Fuji Sota. So yeah, that could be a possibility, but those are usually very young people with flexible minds. For normal old people like me, that's basically impossible to get to that level that quickly, yeah. They were born with those penguin sacrifice technique. But perhaps, we don't know. So yeah, this is like a dancing god. That's the gold. And again, once it's distracted, they have attack the gold technique, destroying our pillar, yeah? The pillar of our castle. So yeah, if they have... So basically versus detach... detach, not detach. Detach, rejoin is useless, yeah? They have no value. Unfortunately. So that's our weak point, yeah, our kryptonite. The better move in this position, there is actually a better move here, which is to move the king here and actually attach the king with his forehead to the gold. If they drop this silver, we just move away. So king was a better move because it avoids the detach. Yeah. King h7 is a smart way to defend. Okay. Rejoin technique. It's very strong because it helps the piece that was far away to rejoin the castle. And it's just redundant, but that's what it is. We can also do it with pieces other than gold and silver, so other than metal pieces. In diagram 14, let's see. We have the silver that's kind of detached. How would we defend it? If we simply go here to avoid the dragon, they have the detach technique. Boom. Drops a pawn in front of the silver. This gold will die or this silver will die, right? The clip push shape is really weak against pawn drop. I just realized it must be really code-like what I'm saying, like detach technique, clip push shape. People who just joined the stream are like, what's going on? Welcome to Shogi Harbour. Yes. We have the terminology that we worked on for weeks. And if you have any questions, just stop me and I shall explain. Maybe we should do like Shogi Harbour Jisho, like a Shogi Harbour dictionary explaining those all new Shogi terminology. So there's a cool technique here. How do we defend this silver, yeah? We have a rook in hand. What can we do with the rook? Yeah, also notice if you move the gold, there's a pawn drop. What can we do with the rook? Well, if you drop the rook here, they have another pawn drop. Gold takes, pawn drop, and then the silver cannot take, yeah. So there's a better rook drop, which is 5-3. Is it rejoin, really? Is it rejoin in that case? What is this? How can I explain it to our viewers? This rejoining the rook? All right. All right, so basically, again, here, detach, counters, rejoin. Yeah, we see it, we saw it. If this rejoins, it all dies to either pawn drop or pawn drop, yeah? This is what we're trying to counter here. How do we counter it? Well, by dropping the rook. But instead they're concentrating on the fact that it's detachment, yeah. But that's not rejoin, yeah? So it's hard for me to explain how is that rejoining actually. Leaving a ranged piece stranded in your own cup is sadness. That's true. That's what we should avoid. Rejoin is also, the word is combination, bonding. So we could say that the rook combines with the silver. We can explain it like this. Rook takes no problem. Yeah, if they drop the pawn, this time rook takes no problem with promotion, yeah? If they drop a pawn here, well, it's gonna take a lot of time to take all those pieces. Yeah, it's gonna be very slow. So we managed to extend our life. So yeah, we've talked about floating piece deleting those floating piece by being deleted and coming back to the castle, strengthen the castle. That was the main purpose. We can use other pieces. Let's just concentrate on the negative point, that we were countered if we were to simply move the silver. Let's just leave the rook for now. Maybe we need to use a different word here. You could argue that rook joins the defense or is combined in the defense. Maybe the word combination is a better one. So let's leave it for now. Okay, that's the last chapter. Okay, the last example. Rejoin, recombine. I mean, you could argue that the rook was useless in the hand. Binding. Let's instead translate it as binding, maybe. A bind. Hello, clock. We binded the rook with the silver, yeah? Therefore, their connection. The connection, like the word binded, connection, protecting each other, it's all a very similar word in Japanese, and this is where the wordplay comes from. Basically, we're talking about rejoining, binding, or defending. But yeah, basically what we're saying, instead of this Lego piece, it comes from the earth, from the universe to join. This time we're using the long piece, which is the rook. It was useless in our hand, and it comes in and Tetris the whole board, yeah? It's binded to this silver now. Making, de facto, this silver that was floating and useless connected and part of a whole, yeah? That's kind of where we're going with it. And the last technique shall be difficult word to translate again. Shielding, masking, sheltering, screening, shade, masking. Yeah, I have no idea how to translate that. So this technique, that's called shahe. For now. Let's see what it means exactly. Protecting the piece that's a target. Okay, so it's clearly shielding. Protecting a piece that's behind to make your castle more durable. So let's create a shield, yeah? In here, the dragon is attacking the gold. There's a silver drop. How do we defend it? Well, shield, yeah? So this gold is shielding this gold right now. And therefore the silver drop is not possible. Yeah. To avoid big piece influence. I mean, we've seen something like this. It was the block technique, as you guys remember, with Judoka Ose. We're blocking the enemy big piece to disable the pivotal piece. Yeah, so it's always the case with the long range pieces, you can block them. In this case, we have this shielding technique. Why is it here? Because it's part of the castle mending for some reason. I guess it makes this wall, like if you think of this as a wall, it makes this wall stronger. Yeah, we mended the castle. It's a very similar Tetsuji to what we had before. Again, if they attack this gold with silver drop, as you see, it's no problem. It's double protected. We can escape as well. But the point is we change the point of focus here. Yeah, changing focus. Lowering damage. Do not damage my king. Damage my shield, yeah. Any tips for the beginner? Well, we have this video, we have also this Discord with all these links. They're very useful. Beginner guide channel. And if you have any questions, you can also ask on the Discord clock. Welcome to Shogi Harbour. Safe place to learn about Shogi. Any dumb question, whenever you think it's a dumb question or not, any question is being accepted, yeah? Even if you think it's a dumb question, it's accepted. In its fullness. On our harbor. As long as you're not trolling too much. Alright, diagram 18. We have token coming here. We can see it clearly. How do we change their focus? How do we change their focus? Okay. We see this, but they have even better move. Takes, gold drop. That's a Hishi, right? It's really, really bad. Where is their focus? Well, it's on this gold, clearly. They can take it and create a Hishi. We have to defend. So, we're gonna move the gold to the side, apparently. Okay. We cannot save all the pieces. So we wanna find a way to extend life. How to extend life? Cannot defend all. How do we extend life? Or slow them down, yeah? That's equivalent, yeah? Slow down. The Judoka Ose technique. Here we're gonna move the gold. I'm gonna explain in a second why. The gold is pivotal piece for us in the defense, yeah? Defend the pillar, basically. We talked about gold being the pillar of the castle, yeah? So we're defending, we're hiding, masking. Yeah. This time there's no shield, so we're gonna use the other definition of that word. So difficult to translate that word. We're gonna shelter it in this time. Maybe shelter is a better word, yeah? Shelter. Doing so, we also avoid the exposure of our king with the horse sacrifice. Yeah, and therefore we're a little bit stronger in the defense. And the enemy, yeah, they will approach us. We cannot do anything about this. So we're trying to find a way to slow them down. And the most important thing is to avoid the exposure, yeah? So limit the damage. The damage cannot be done, so limit it. The damage cannot be prevented from being done, so limit the damage. Here they can move the token here, but it's not a checkmate threat, and they cannot continue it for a few moves. It's one move we're getting, yeah? But that one move, as we know, in Shogi is huge. Yeah, so we gain +1 move. Just by moving the gold sideways. It's kind of beautiful technique here. It's kind of hard to understand, but basically what they have to do is they play one move. Okay, let's count. So 1, 2. So they needed 3 moves, yes? Sacrifice, drop, drop. And now they will have move, take, that 0, drop the silver, and then they need 1 more move. That's also, but yeah, that's not gonna be enough, right? So 1, 2, 3, and then they have 2 golds. That's mate already. How does it give us 1 move? That's my problem. How does it give us 1 move? Oh, king takes maybe. King takes? Maybe king takes, you know? The king can take the token. Maybe this gives us more life, actually. Yeah. So if the gold takes, they have the silver, which doesn't help. But I think if the gold takes this, so it's 1, 2, and then we survive. They don't have a mate yet, which extends our life by 1 at least. Unless they got like 1, drop the gold, 2, and then 1 more, yeah? We can work with this shape better than we can work with this shape, basically speaking. Limit the damage. Slow them down, shelter the pillar. Defend the pillar, okay? In this case, you know, the attack side, in order for them to attack, they wanna get your gold or your king. For the defensive side, well, you have to defend those pieces, the gold and the king. That's your iron rule. Gold plus king. Very important, yeah? So this technique that we didn't name yet is also important when talking about king. In diagram 20, they target the night drop. After this combination, the ear attack, they will be able to attack our king easily. So we're gonna use our new technique to defend, and we're gonna escape. We escape the bishop's influence. So I guess we kind of shielded it, sheltered, maybe shelter. We sheltered the king on this square, yeah, away from the bishop. Therefore, they have no ear attack on us. Yeah, so it's important that we do it one move before they're able to make a decisive move. And we're moving away the king from the critical point. Here, they can probably push this pawn. Pawn takes, knight drop here. But then we can move the gold in, helping to defend. Very light way of defending. All right. Limit the damage. Maybe like avoid critical point. Avoid. It's kind of like escape early. We didn't talk about this. It's an endgame technique. It's kind of like escape critical point, critical square. So we're sheltering the king away from that attack. That's the point here. And we're doing it early, yeah? Early and the critical square, we're avoiding both. All right, the shelter or the shield / shield together with the restore are creating good combination. Especially in Anaguma, where the king is in a very tiny spot, the restoration becomes shielding at the same time. In diagram 22, we have two golds, right? If we were to protect this square from the token, we would drop the gold here. But this is a bad move. They can drop the gold here, king takes. Okay, in this position, they can do that, drop the gold here, and it's gonna lead to a very fancy and long mate, okay? So this is checkmate threat. Tsumero. In this position. And basically, okay, so if we drop the gold here, they can drop their gold here, bring our king, our king closer to them, and drop another gold here, attacking this one. So this would speed up their attack indirectly. What you want to do is to do both restore and shield, so that they cannot detach your king. Yeah. So protecting, detach the king, yeah? That's important point here. This is why shielding or sheltering is so important here. this prevents check, right? As well. Yep. Shielding. We're kind of shielding the king from check, yeah? Shielding king from check, if it makes sense. Plus restore, yeah? That's important in Anaguma games, especially. Yes, the enemy will be able to bring this token closer to our king, but I mean, it's better than losing immediately. Similarly to page 129. Here, yeah, we're gonna survive by one move. We were in checkmate already. We dropped the gold. They're coming closer. They will need 2 more moves to create a checkmate, therefore they're slower than having checkmate immediately. Alright, this is practical examples, but we're gonna do a trick. We're gonna keep those for the next lesson. We're gonna summarize it together before doing the next one. And this one will be about escaping. King escape. I couldn't find matching words. Okay. Nogareru. Nigeru. Those both kanji together don't exist, actually. But they means escape, yeah? So, yeah, king escape. King finally says, I have enough, and he escapes, yeah? So that's gonna be it. Yes, escape artists. We're gonna go into Mifa territory. What should we remember from this chapter? We did 2 chapters actually today, so we did so much today. Today we talked about dealing with the enemy pieces in more detail. We had a way of slowing their attack down or stopping it completely. And in there we had 2 particular techniques which we should remember, which is the Judoka Ose and the lure technique, aka penguin sacrifice. The Judoka Ose is the one that we should use first, and then if we have no way of escaping, the lure technique is our last resort. Then we talked about other way of dealing with the enemy pieces indirectly is by repairing your castle, and we had 3 techniques to do so. We had the restore technique, where we drop our piece to restore the castle. We have to do it with or without initiative. We have to know the distinction between those 2. Then we had the rejoin method, which is like a Lego block that's in space and it rejoins the castle. Yeah, like we detach the gold. We reattach the gold that was detached. Here we had combo of both. And it is important for us to remember that rejoin is weak for detachment, that we can use rejoin as a binding, as bind defending, as keeping connection between pieces as well, for example, rook. And finally, we had shielding or sheltering technique, basically changing the focus of the enemy attack. Sometimes it saves us one move, a very important technique that we're gonna see a little more next week. Yeah. You guys okay? Will there be any dancing? Well, detachment and attachment rejoining technique had a lot of dancing, but yeah. Probably we'll have more dancing in practical examples, yes. I personally need to like double check this example, how many moves it checks. I will do that. I recommend you guys to, if you had some example you didn't understand, You can always rewatch the VOD. You can come back to our older VODs on YouTube too. I'm uploading them every week. All right, any questions, chat? The next stream will be on Saturday and Sunday, and on Sunday we will have a special event that I'd never mentioned before, but we're gonna have a certain collab. I hope you will join us. It's gonna be a little bit earlier than the stream we usually do. It might replace the actual stream. It's gonna be 2 hours earlier, 2 p.m. We're gonna teach shogi to certain people, chess people. I have no idea, Warfels. I have no idea. So I assume it is Tabasco? Tabasco. I don't use Tabasco sauce. I guess. Not so often, at least. Tabasco. And I guess the other one is what? Another company? That's another sauce. Okay. Well, I have more experience with Tabasco, but I don't have it in my home. Yes, mysterious chess people. Alright, guys. So thank you so much. I don't see any more questions. If you guys have any questions, you know, Discord is always there. And I will see you on Saturday when we're gonna do casual stream of the topic that you would like to do. I might prepare a Kifu from Bishop Exchange Nakabisha. I might be too busy to do that, actually. Yeah. So anyway, Saturday. Yep. Thank you so much.